Hey, what's going on, guys? FullFrontage here today, bringing you guys a Clash Royale video. We are going to be going over the #1 level 11 player in the world, DIMA from Team Liquid Academy. I also started a clan FullFrontage at YouTube. It will be public after this video is uploaded. If you guys want to join up, if it's active enough, I'll keep it. If it's not super active, then I guess we'll just shut it down. A lot of you guys have been asking to join my clan or for me to join your clans or anything like that. So if people want to hang out and chill, we'll do it in here. So if you guys do purchase Pass Royale and you guys want to support the channel, make sure you use code FullFrontage. Go to the item shop, scroll all the way to down to the bottom, and enter code FullFrontage. But nonetheless, let's jump into it. I'm going to be showing replays with a Mega Knight Wallbreakers minor deck from DIMA. So you can see he is a level 11 on the bottom. So kind of talking about this deck. This Mega Knight minor Wallbreaker deck does apply a lot of pressure, and Mega Knight is solely going to be used as a defensive unit. So when the pushes are coming in, you want to make sure you have Mega Knight in cycle to be able to defend. But when it comes down to it, your main pushes are going to be with the miner and wall breakers, and then of course bandit to pressure. You also have bats, you can catch your opponent off guard with the minor bats push. So we'll see how DIMA is going to play up against one of the most popular archetypes in the game right now, being Graveyard. So the Musketeer is going to be able to take down that baby dragon. Icewood's going to focus, almost focused onto the bats, but then it went for that Musketeer. And so far, DIMA holding back a little bit, playing very passive. He's going to go with the wall breakers on the left-hand side. An easy bar barrel counter to wall breakers, but he has a pretty decent-sized push happening on this right-hand side. And DIMA is actually going to get quite a bit of damage. Tornado is going to activate the King Tower, but minor bats, again, his opponent doesn't have any elixir. But with the King Tower activated, it was able to take care of those bats. And I think DIMA's knew that his opponent had Tornado in cycle and was going to Tornado activate the King Tower. So that was a very smart minor placement, placing it on that top right corner to make sure it does not get receive any King Tower damage. Wall breakers coming through, kite the Barbarian back. Wall breaker not able to connect, the Ice Wizard slow. Was just enough, but if we look at it, DIMA is now just taking first damage on the right hand side tower. DIMA did take a little bit of damage on that left hand side tower, but now that the King Tower is activated, DIMA does have to be careful because he can only safely put the miner in that top right hand spot, which means his opponent is going to start to predict and get those placements down. We're going to see a Baby Dragon Graveyard push, Musketeer down at the river to kind of stop that baby dragon. Bar barrel is going to be coming in yet again. Thankfully, the skeletons are one-shottable from a tower at level 11. So we're going to see the miner go onto the backhand side. Now the cannon card is there. That's exactly what he wanted to have happen. Is he goes for the miner in that safe spot twice and then switches it up just a little bit. This is going to be very close. We're going to have a Baby Dragon Graveyard push yet again on the left-hand side. Bats will come down. We'll see if Tornado is going to be coming through. Tornado does come down. Bar Barrel able to just barely get down in time. Wall breakers again to kite that Baby Dragon away. Bandit comes down and still keeps the Baby Dragon off the tower. And the Mega Knight's going to be able to jump down, connect, and finish the tower off on the right-hand side. So that is going to be game #1 with this minor Wallbreakers deck. The second game we're going to be seeing is going to be up against a giant Graveyard style deck. So DIMA's last game started off with wall breakers, and it looks like he does the same here. Wall breakers are actually, if you have wall breakers, it's a really good start to get an opponent for what your to get a feel for what your opponent has. If your opponent has a small spell and cycle, they'll use it, and then you can kind of get a gauge on what type of deck they're rocking. If it's log, you might be able to predict log bait. If it's bar barrel, it could either be golem, lava hound, graveyard. So there's it reveals a lot seeing what your opponent's small spell is, and in this situation where it could end up being like barbarians or they don't have a good solid cheap counter, then they have to spend a lot of elixir, and you get to know mainly what your opponent is rocking. So the fact that we saw Barbs early on, DIMA could either predict that it's going to be Lava Hound or some other style deck, and in this case, it is some other style deck. Aristes is going to drop the Zap onto the Wall Breakers, and Dimas does take quite a bit of damage from that Giant on the right-hand side. However, now Dimas has a really good counter push coming in on the left. Barbs are going to come down to prevent that Musketeer from getting a lock, and will also distract the Bats while the Crown Tower is going to finish off that Miner. And Dimas gets a solid about 600 damage, so nothing too crazy, but does get a little bit of chip damage to bring himself back into the game. Mini P.E.K.K.A cleans up the Bandit. Bats will clean that up, and Aristi looks like he's going to go with the arrows here. Is going to be able to take down those Wall Breakers. So Dimas now knows that he has Zap and arrows, which is not good to go against Wall Breakers, but will be able to... we're going to have to see how he plays this out. So Zap will come down to the Bats on the left-hand side. Now the Bandit's going to be coming in. Wall Breakers are going to come in as well. Barbs do get down just in time, and the Barbs do take care of the Wall Breakers. So now Dimas has to deal with a split lane push, and we're going to see how he plays this. So Graveyard's going to come down. Barbarrel's going to clean up the left-hand side. It'll be plenty on its own. Mega Knight is going to come down to defend against the Wall Breakers. Arrows are going to be coming in, and that's going to take care of the Bats that Dimas used to defend. Now, it does have arrows and Zap, and Dimas has a fairly decent counter push coming in right now. So we'll see how this is going to play out. Miner is going to be able to take care of the Musketeer, which is really, really solid. And another Mega Knight's going to be coming down. Dimas is going to be able to keep the pressure on. Full health Mega Knight coming in, a second Musketeer coming down. Mini P.E.K.K.A is going to be coming in as well. Wizard are going to do a great job, but the Mega Knight jumps forward, allowing the Wall Breakers to connect, and it is going to be a draw at the last second. The Mega Knight, Musketeer, and Bandit were able to get a ton of damage, and now we just look at how much damage is being dealt to the Crown Tower. Wall Breakers are going to be coming in. The Mega Knight and Muskie were doing a great job onto the King Tower, and 1032 now remains on the King Tower. And 1366 on the left-hand side. In a two-tower situation, Graveyard is very tough to win with. So, Aristi's trying his best to do it as well as he can. It gets a pretty decent amount of damage on that left-hand side tower, taking the tower down by about half. Wall Breakers are going to be coming through on the right-hand side. Aristi forced to play the Barbarians on those Wall Breakers, and now the Mega Knight's going to be able to jump over. Barbs do come over, but the Miner is going to take the aggro. One of the Bats did stay alive and got a little bit of damage. Now the Wizard is going to stay distracted. Bandit's going to dash through, get one more slap onto the Wizard, and 744 remains. Dima's going with the Musketeer onto the King Tower, and Aristi's trying to go all in, trying to catch him off guard, but the Miner is going to be enough with the Bar Barrel, and that is going to be GG. Great heads-up play from Dimas there. He kept his composure, and you see on that right-hand side, when the tower was going down, he basically just pressured hard at the bridge, kind of not allowing his opponent to really get another push off. He just continuously kept the pressure on. He had Mega Knight, he had Musketeer, he had Bandit, he went in with the Miner, and he was able to get back to another Mega Knight and just slam it down and really put the pressure on. So this next one is going to be against a fairly old-time popular Mortar Rocket deck. I personally haven't seen this deck in quite some time. But if this person is up, all these matches are above 7,000 trophies. I'll show Dima's profile at the end of the video on Royale API to show the highest level 11s in the world. To show you guys exactly where he was standing at the time when these matches were played, because that is when he started these matches. So Wall Breaker's able to get a really good connection right there. Tornado with the Bandit did activate the King Tower. So again, Dimas with that Miner is going to have to go for some safe spot plays in that top left-hand corner. But that can also be risky because his opponent will be able to predict it. But in the off chance, when it comes to double elixir, you don't necessarily have to play the Miner in that spot the entire time. you can start to switch things up a little bit because you'll be able to get a lot more pressure onto the opponent's tower. So just because the king tower is activated, especially in double elixir, you don't necessarily have to play the miner in that top spot. Most people predict it, but there are games that I personally have played and I have seen as well where that is not the case. So in a situation like this, when you have miner wall breakers coming in, it is best to throw your opponent off. They're predicting you'll go in that top left hand corner so you don't take damage from the king tower. But when you're going in with wall breakers, the miner getting chip damage is not the main focus. It's getting the wall breakers to the tower. So you can afford to switch things up a little bit in that scenario and throw your opponent off, because it really does throw them off in times like that. So we're going to see a zap come down onto the bats. One of the bats ends up getting away from that zap, but a bar barrel going to do a perfect job cleaning up that mortar. And so far, DIMA's ahead quite a bit in damage. Mortar's going to come down, but the wall breakers are going to be able to connect both of them. Mortar will get a shot off onto that musketeer, and now Dimas is going to be able to go for a miner push, and now he's going to go to the top left hand side because those archers just went in the back. So he wants to try to get as much chip damage as possible and kind of split his opponent, throw off their push, because when something goes down in the back, typically you're planning something. So when that plan is thrown off, it completely throws off the momentum that you just had. So very heads up play from DIMA. He's doing a great job playing with the stack. Snowball is going to be able to get through and take down those wall breakers. And now only 274 remains on that left-hand side tower as we are in overtime. Bats will come through, and I think we're going to see another miner push coming in, and it looks like it's going to go to the top right-hand side, and that would have been really interesting. The snowball actually pushed the wall breakers forward. With the bats coming in, I think a miner in the back would have also worked out really nicely, but I mean, that is what it is. DIMA played those games phenomenally. You can see where he finished last season. So he finished at 7,409 trophies, and I'm going to leave the level 11 leaderboards from Royale API over there. But that is going to do it for the videos, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more content. I'll also leave DIMA's Twitter down in the description below, so make sure you go drop him a follow if you guys want to see how he does in the standings. And like I said, he's also a player for Team Liquid Academy and a phenomenal player at that. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more content. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss any Supercell content. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Peace out.